The 13th of February each year for many Nigerians marks another year of remembrance of the late former head of state and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, General Murtala Muhammad, who was assassinated in Ikoyi, Lagos 30 years ago. In this report, our correspondent Gimba looks at the event leading up to when he was killed, his legacies and the policies he adopted during his rather short tenure in office.
In July 1975, there was a bloodless coup which saw the Yakubu Gowon's government toppled. A new one headed by Brigadier Murtala Muhammad and Brigadier Olusegun Obasanjo as Chief of Staff emerged. A broadcast by the new government gave major reasons for the change.
The leadership, either by design or default, had become too insensitive to the true feelings and yearnings of the people.
General Gowon was out of the country at the time. He returned, he pledged his loyalty to the new government and the nation. The new government acted rapidly to eliminate corruption from public life. First, the state governors were dismissed, and there was immediate allegations into corrupt practices.
Since any attempt to correct the mistakes of the past must start with the leadership of the institutions that were responsible, there was therefore no alternative but to apply firm and, in some cases, drastic measures in order to set the stage for healthier and more efficient services.
He soon became a general. His main concern was to hand over the business of governance to civilians. He believed the military should defend the nation and not rule it. The country soon began to see a flurry of activities which seemed to have widespread support. He saw through the process which gave birth to 19 states, primarily aimed at giving minorities a greater voice. This his supporters saw as part of his personal qualities.
He used to tell me that there are only two things that sustain a successful government: justice and fair play. And as far as he was concerned, justice must be done to whosoever deserves it, irrespective of his religion, tribe, race, or position.
He also announced the plans to partially demobilize the army. Again, his plans was in contrast with the previous government. But all this was to be violently interrupted. In 1976, an attempted coup was carried out by some disgruntled officers. The coup failed. Unfortunately, one element of the plot did succeed. At 10 a.m. on the 13th of February 1976, General Murtala Muhammad's car drew into an interception and was met by a hail of bullets. He was killed instantly. Nigerians mourn him like they never did to a leader before. 30 years later, the mourning still strikes the deepest corners of the hearts of Nigerians, as many come to pay homage at the cenotaph in Ikoyi. This year, friends and family, as well as some government officials, came to share what seems an unending grief.
This is a man who believes in himself and he believes in the country, and he held this country, although very, very time. You can see the effects of the legacies he left behind, that is discipline.
He was a wonderful, very warm person. He spoiled us rotten. I think, my mom had to sort of rein him once in a while, that children need a bit of discipline. It's not all about, fun and love. But we were lucky, we were fortunate. We only had him for a few years.
When the Olusegun Obasanjo administration came to power in 1999, the policies it chose to pursue have been criticized time and again. Some argue that the policies of the present government is similar to the Murtala Muhammad's administration, the key elements being the fight against crime and corruption.
Like corruption, we must all identify crime as an obstacle to peace, progress and development that must be totally removed from our midst.
With the EFCC, no doubt, the battle against corruption has just begun against over 30 years of rot. And many agree that it is a challenging battle which subsequent administrations and indeed all Nigerians must sustain in order to see the emergence of that much talked about greater Nigeria. Gimba for Channels Television News.